name is Deneen Woodson, and I am the Programs Manager here at the Office of Workforce Development. Today, I will be discussing the basics of adult eligibility determination. Let's begin by taking a look at the big picture, WIOA legislation. As you're aware, WIOA stands for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Under WIOA, there are 4 core titles, but each have different eligibility criteria. We will skip Title I for now. Let's look at Title II. Title II is the Adult Education and Literacy and includes high school equivalency preparation classes and English language learners, as well as others. Title III is the Wagner-Pfizer Act, and it covers employment services in the one-stop system, while Title IV is the Vocational Rehabilitation Services, and it provides employment services for individuals who are disabled. Let's go back to Title I. Title I is workforce development. That's what we do. The goal of OWD, or the Office of Workforce Development, is to increase the employment, retention, and earnings and occupational skill attainment of participants. The ultimate end goal is to improve the quality of workforce, reduce reliance on public assistance, and enhance the productivity and competitiveness of the state of Georgia. Knowing this helps us ultimately make decisions about what we do and why we do it, not just locally, but statewide. Your job actually plays an important role in getting people back to work and companies wanting to do business here in Georgia. What we do matters to individuals, their families, our communities, and ultimately the state of Georgia. As you are aware, there are 3 Title I programs. Youth will be covered in a later training presentation. Today, we're going to concentrate on adult. What are the 3 categories of services? They are basic career services. Those services are available to anyone who walks into your office. They consist of eligibility determinations, initial skill assessments, labor exchange services, labor market information, and referrals to other programs. Remember, these services are available to any adult who walks into the office and can include self-directed services, meaning that an individual may just want to use a computer, get help with a resume, or need general information. We do not have to determine eligibility for basic career services, and we don't have to open a case if that's all an individual is requesting. The second is individualized career services. Individualized career services require eligibility determination. Services include individual and or group counseling, career planning, developing individual employment, workforce preparation activities, financial literacy, and that basically is what do I do with these unemployment benefits or this paycheck? What does this information mean? Internships and work experience, short-term pre-vocational services, to list a few. Remember that these require more staff time, and an IEP must be created and signed by staff and the participant. All services should result in employment, and eligibility must be determined, as earlier stated. The third is training services. Training services require eligibility and suitability determinations. Please be informed that we will provide more comprehensive information on suitability in future trainings. Their activities include individual training accounts, work-based learning, which includes apprenticeships, on-the-job training, and incumbent worker training. Let's now look at adult eligibility. There are 3 requirements to begin the process, and only 2 for women. WIOA ensured that eligibility is basic and simple. The first is that the individual must be over the age of 18, which is an adult, and they must be authorized to work in the US. Now, a lot of times when an individual sees that requirement, they think that they must be a United States citizen, but this is not correct. The requirement is that they must be eligible to work in the United States and bring in documentation supporting such. And finally, for males only, they must be registered for selective services. Additional requirements in Georgia regs also require participants to be unemployed or underemployed. Remember, the goal is to assist individuals with entering and re-entering the workforce. So adults who can work and are and underemployed are our target population. Let's see how much you already know about basic eligibility. In this scenario, please answer with the letter A, B, or C in the chat. I will read the question and then give you a few seconds to respond. Ben is currently in a transitional center. He would like to complete an on-site welding program provided by the local technical college. Would Ben meet the additional eligibility requirements for adult Title I services? A, yes, he would be considered underemployed. B, no, he is not available to work immediately. Therefore, he does not meet the unemployment definition. Or C, yes, even though he is currently in a correctional facility, he is considered unemployed per WIOA regulations. Log your response now. Okay, so the correct answer is C. Ben is in a transitional center and is considered unemployed. Remember, there are two additional categories for eligibility. So let's look at the definition for both unemployed and underemployed. An individual who is unemployed means simply an adult who is not working and is available to work. For example, if an individual wants to work but is currently receiving ongoing medical treatment, has to travel extensively, has ongoing responsibilities with family members, which would interfere with them being readily available for training or work, they may not be eligible. You may use your excellent case management skills to provide referrals or encourage them to return when they are better able to clear their schedules to participate in services. We have received questions regarding availability on those who are incarcerated and their ability to meet the definition. As a result, we have added language in policy that those who are in transition, pre or post release, are eligible. Let's look at the additional adult eligibility for underemployed. The definition for underemployed are those who are working less than full-time and want full-time employment. It also includes those who are already employed in a position that is not commensurate with their educational level. For example, an individual who has earned a BA in accounting but works at Dairy Queen. Now, there's no shame in working at Dairy Queen, but the position doesn't match their educational level. Also, those who are working full-time and meet the definition of low income. We know there are a lot of questions regarding the low income definition, so LLSIL will be covered in detail in a future training. The final are those whose current job earnings are not sufficient compared to their previous job earnings. An example is someone who has been employed over 10 years at a company and now have to begin all over in their career, making less money. Let's try another scenario. Please enter your responses in the check box. Mary is a 30-year-old native of Georgia. She currently works part-time at our local grocery store, making $14 an hour. She comes to your center requesting career guidance and training services to obtain new employment as she only has a high school diploma. Is Mary eligible for Title I adult services? A, yes, Mary is eligible as she will be considered underemployed. B, no, Mary is not eligible as she needs to be tape tested before her eligibility can be established. Or C, no, Mary is not eligible as Title I adult services are only for individuals who are not working or are making minimum wage. If you answered A, you are correct. Although Mary makes $14 per hour, she only works part-time and is looking for something more. So let's help Mary out. We know that this information can be overwhelming and confusing, especially when an individual is sitting in front of you telling you their story. As a result, OWD is in the process of completing a job aid to make the determination process a little easier. Stay tuned for more information. And this concludes my presentation.